Most people live their entire lives trapped in a cycle of comfort. They wake up at the same time, eat the same food, hang around the same people, and follow the same routine every day. There's no risk, no real pain, no adversity. But here's the truth: comfort is the biggest killer of potential. It's disguised as peace, but it's really a slow poison. The moment you begin to prioritize comfort over challenge, ease over growth, you're already heading in the wrong direction. Being a savage isn't about being reckless. It's about rejecting the lie that comfort is your friend. Think about it. Nothing truly valuable in life comes without discomfort. Whether it's physical strength, mental toughness, discipline, or resilience, all of it is forged in fire. The gym doesn't give you muscle without pain. Books don't give you knowledge without the effort to focus. Success doesn't come without sacrifice. But the average person keeps running from that discomfort. They hit the snooze button instead of getting up early. They avoid hard conversations, hard work, hard choices. They choose the easy route every time. And that's why they stay average. That's why they never break free. Because comfort is addictive. The more you feed it, the more it controls you. In America, we are surrounded by comfort. Air, conditioned homes, fast food, streaming entertainment, everything designed to make life easier. But ease doesn't lead to strength. Ease leads to softness, and softness leads to weakness. We've got people who haven't been uncomfortable in years. And then they wonder why they can't handle stress, why they fall apart under pressure, why they feel lost. It's because they've been seduced by the lie of convenience. They've let comfort become a shield that protects them from pain, but also blocks their potential. Being a savage means breaking that cycle. It means doing the opposite of what most people do. It means choosing the hard thing every single day, not because you like it, but because it forces you to grow. When your body wants to rest, you move. When your mind tells you to stop, you keep going. You put yourself through discomfort on purpose because you understand that comfort will never give you what you're looking for. It'll never build confidence. It'll never give you self-respect. That comes from doing hard things repeatedly, even when you don't feel like it. People think motivation is going to carry them through the hard times, but motivation is weak. It dies fast. You can't rely on it. You have to be driven by something deeper. You need to train your mind to embrace pain like it's your workout partner. You need to stop thinking of discomfort as punishment and start seeing it as fuel. Every moment of discomfort is an opportunity. Every time you're cold, tired, sore, broke, or stressed, that's a window for growth. If you run from it, you lose. If you step into it, you become unstoppable. Let's be real. The savage mindset isn't for everyone. It's not for people who want quick results, shortcuts, or handouts. It's for the few who understand that greatness takes time, patience, and a willingness to suffer. It's for those who realize that every second you spend in comfort is a second you're not growing. It's for those who look in the mirror and say, I will not be soft. I will not be average. I will outwork everyone around me. It's for those who are done waiting for the perfect time or the right feeling and instead decide to make the most out of every day, no matter what it demands of them. This country was built on grit, hard work, and sacrifice. But somewhere along the way, we started valuing comfort over character. We started giving trophies for showing up, handing out praise for mediocrity, lowering the bar so no one feels left out. That's not how savages are made. Savages raise the bar. They chase discomfort. They wake up earlier. They train harder. They study longer. They demand more from themselves because they know no one is coming to push them. They're their own engine, their own motivator, their own accountability. When life punches them in the face, they don't cry. They don't look for someone to blame. They get back up. They adjust. They adapt. They keep swinging because they know pain is part of the process. Struggle is part of the transformation. And if it's easy, it's probably not worth doing. There's a reason the phrase, stay hard, exists. It's not just about toughness. It's about staying ready, staying disciplined, staying locked in. While the rest of the world is hitting snooze and scrolling through their phones, savages are up, grinding, sweating, learning, becoming something more. If you want to be a savage, you have to be willing to suffer. You have to train your mind to find purpose in the pain. You have to wake up and do the hard things first, before comfort even gets a chance to speak. Every morning you face a choice to stay soft and stuck, or chase pain and grow. Every day is a test. Every moment is an opportunity to separate yourself. Don't run from discomfort. Invite it. Make it part of your life. Let it sharpen you, strengthen you, harden you. That's where the real growth begins. Not in comfort, not in ease, not in praise, but in the fire of challenge, repetition, and sacrifice. Most people wake up hoping they feel motivated. They wait for that spark, the fire inside, to push them out of bed, to hit the gym, to start that project, to face the grind. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you're fired up. The next day you can't even get off the couch. If you build your life around motivation, you're building it on sand. That foundation will crumble the first time you feel tired, sick, overwhelmed, or uninspired. That's why savages don't depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. Discipline is different. It's not emotional. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're sad, stressed, or bored. Discipline is a decision. It's showing up no matter how you feel. It's pushing yourself when no one is watching. It's doing the work when you'd rather do anything else. That's what separates average people from savage ones. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. That's easy. But how many people can stay committed when every part of their mind and body is screaming to quit? That's where discipline takes over. Discipline is the muscle you build when you do what needs to be done, especially when you don't want to do it. It's waking up before sunrise because your goals don't care if you're tired. It's hitting that extra rep in the gym when your arms are shaking. It's staying up to finish your work when the rest of the world is asleep. That kind of consistency doesn't come from hype videos or motivational quotes. It comes from an unshakable mindset, a decision to never negotiate with weakness. In America, we've become obsessed with feelings. Everything has to feel right. People say, I'll do it when I feel ready, or I'm not in the right headspace, or I need to feel inspired first. That mindset is soft. It's weak. Savages don't wait to feel ready. They make themselves ready. They act without waiting for permission from their emotions. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel in the moment. It only cares about whether you execute or not. And that's what this country needs more of. People who can follow through, even when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is about systems. It's about structure. You don't need to reinvent yourself every morning. You build habits that do the work for you. You create routines that carry you through the fog of fatigue and distraction. That's how elite performers operate. They don't wake up and ask, do I feel like doing this today? They wake up and do it, period. Their actions are not negotiable. Their path is locked in. Discipline becomes their default setting. That's why they succeed day after day, year after year. You think Navy SEALs go out on missions only when they feel motivated. You think world-class athletes train only when they're in the mood. No, they train because they've made a commitment. They have standards. They have a code. And they follow that code every damn day. That's what makes them elite. That's what makes them dangerous. And that's what you need if you want to rise above the average and live like a savage. Most people quit because they've trained their mind to chase motivation. And when it's not there, they crumble. But the savage builds armor through discipline. They show up regardless. They've built the habit of pushing through when the motivation is gone. And it always goes. Discipline steps in. It says, I've got this. We're not done yet. That's when the real gains happen. That's when growth shows up. Not when it's easy, but when your mind says no and you do it anyway. Look at the most successful people in this country. Entrepreneurs, soldiers, athletes, creators, leaders. Every single one of them had moments when they didn't want to keep going, but they did. Why? Because they weren't chasing a feeling. They were chasing excellence. And excellence is built on discipline. It's built on showing up and doing the work, whether it's raining, snowing, hot, cold, whether you're sick, broken, or exhausted. That's the difference. That's what it takes. You want to lose weight, want to build a business, want to master your craft. Then stop waiting to feel like it. Stop depending on the hype. Stop chasing inspiration. Instead, build a system that demands your best every day. Make a schedule. Stick to it. Hold yourself to it. And when the inner voice starts whispering excuses, shut it down. That voice is the enemy. That voice is weakness. And weakness doesn't belong in a savage's life. In a country full of comfort, the savage is rare. The savage doesn't need to be told what to do. The savage doesn't wait to feel good. The savage does the work relentlessly, consistently, quietly. While others scroll, the savage studies. While others sleep, the savage grinds. While others dream, the savage executes. Because they understand this one truth: motivation is for amateurs. Discipline is for warriors. We live in a society where people are constantly looking outside themselves for answers. They blame the government, their family, their upbringing, their job, their lack of resources, or even bad luck. But the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to rescue you from your pain, your laziness, your self-doubt, or your failures. People might offer you advice, encouragement, or sympathy, but no one is going to do the work for you. That's your job. That's your responsibility. That's the reality you have to accept if you want to rise above the average and become someone different. This idea that someone is going to show up and fix your life, is one of the biggest lies we're sold. From childhood, we're taught to look up to heroes, to wait for someone to step in and save the day. But life isn't a movie. There's no dramatic rescue coming. There's no mentor who's going to carry you across the finish line. You can get help, sure, but help doesn't build habits. Help doesn't stay with you at 4 a.m. when you're exhausted, broken, and ready to quit. That's when you realize that you are the only one who can truly carry yourself through the fire. In America, we talk a lot about opportunity. Yes, opportunity exists, but it doesn't matter unless you're ready to take it. And to be ready, you have to be accountable. You have to own your situation, your failures, your habits, and your mindset. You can't outsource your life to other people and expect greatness in return. You can't say, I'd be successful if I had better parents, or I'd be in shape if I had more time. That mindset is weak. That mindset is why people stay stuck in the same place year after year. If you want change, you have to stop pointing fingers and start pointing at the mirror. Savages don't wait for anyone to push them. They don't need praise, applause, or support to get to work. They understand that their life is their responsibility. They are their own coach, their own motivator, their own savior. And that's what makes them dangerous. That's what gives them power in a world full of victims. Most people want comfort. They want someone to lead them, guide them, and show them the path. But savages create their own path. They blaze their own trail. They don't need a blueprint. They become the blueprint through repetition, grit, and self-reliance. You can read every self-help book on the shelf. You can go to seminars, watch videos, follow influencers, and take courses. But none of it will change your life unless you take action. And not just when it's convenient, every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Because the truth is, most people don't lack resources. They lack responsibility. They want success without sacrifice. They want greatness without grind. But it doesn't work like that. The savage knows this. The savage doesn't wait for a better moment, a better environment, or a better feeling. The savage just goes. When your life is falling apart, when you've hit rock bottom, when nothing seems to be working, that's when this lesson becomes real. You sit in that dark room and it hits you. No one's coming. No one's going to knock on your door and give you discipline. No one's going to hand you strength. You have to build it. You have to earn it. You have to go to war with your own excuses and come out the other side with blood on your hands and fire in your heart. That's what separates the strong from the weak, the willingness to take full ownership of their situation. It doesn't matter what happened to you in the past. It doesn't matter how many times you were knocked down, rejected, abandoned, or betrayed. That pain may not be your fault, but rising above it is still your responsibility. That's what being a savage is about. You don't get to wait for healing. You create healing. You don't wait for change. You become change. You don't wait for rescue. You rescue yourself through action, through pain, through perseverance. In the military, they teach you to be self-sufficient. You can't wait for someone to come save you when things go bad. You have to adapt. You have to lead yourself. That mindset is exactly what every person in this country needs. Stop waiting for help. Stop waiting for someone to motivate you. Take your life into your own hands and go. Build your body. Train your mind. Own your emotions. Develop discipline. Become the person you were meant to be. Not through luck, not through outside validation, but through brutal consistency and self-leadership. People love to say, it's not my fault. That's true sometimes. But just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your problem. You can stay in that mindset forever, or you can decide that you're done being a victim. You can decide to become the one who saves you. No more waiting, no more wishing, no more whining. Just action, just effort, just relentless forward motion fueled by the truth that the only person who can truly change your life is you. The human body is capable of doing far more than the average person will ever realize, but most people never push themselves far enough to find out. They live inside a cage built by their own mind, trapped by comfort, fear, and self-imposed limits. The truth is, your mind is the real battleground. It's the gatekeeper between who you are and who you could become. And if your mind is weak, your body will follow. It doesn't matter how strong your muscles are if your mindset collapses under pressure. The body obeys the mind, and if the mind isn't trained, neither is the body. That's why savages focus on mental toughness first, because the mind controls everything. Every time you feel pain, exhaustion, or stress, your mind starts throwing out excuses. It starts creating exits, trying to protect you, to bring you back to safety, to comfort. That's the mind's job. It wants to keep you alive, not make you a savage. But survival isn't the goal anymore. You're not running from lions. You're trying to become elite. And elite doesn't come from comfort. It comes from discipline, sacrifice, and suffering. So if you let your mind dictate what you do based on how you feel, you'll always stay stuck. Your body will stop at the first sign of fatigue. Your willpower will fold, and you'll start living beneath your potential. The key is learning to override that voice in your head, that weak voice. The one that tells you it's okay to skip today. The one that says you've done enough. That voice is not your friend. That voice is a liar. It's the same voice that keeps people fat, lazy, unmotivated, and stuck. If you want to be different, if you want to operate like a savage, you have to crush that voice every single day. You have to train your mind to command your body, to keep pushing when everything hurts, to stay focused when everything is falling apart, to keep showing up when quitting feels like the easiest option. This is why the mind has to be hardened. Most people think mental toughness is something you're born with, but it's not. It's built through reps, just like muscles. You get mentally tough by doing hard things, by forcing yourself to suffer on purpose, by waking up early, training in the cold, going the extra mile, doing the uncomfortable thing over and over again. Every time you choose pain over comfort, every time you silence the excuse and do the work anyway, you're forging a stronger mind. And the stronger your mind becomes, the more your body will follow. In this country, we've created an entire culture around soft thinking. People are praised for taking breaks, for doing the bare minimum, for choosing self-care as an excuse for avoiding pressure. And yes, rest has its place, but there's a big difference between rest and quitting. There's a big difference between recovery and hiding. Savages don't use self-care as a disguise for laziness. They don't use their feelings as an excuse to back down. They learn how to operate with pain, how to keep moving with fear, how to function with stress. Because that's what life demands. Life doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to action. It only respects resilience. When you start pushing your limits, your body will scream. It will beg you to stop. It will cramp, shake, and ache. That's where most people give up. But what they don't understand is that the body isn't done. It's the mind that's given in. The body can go further, much further, but the mind needs to be convinced. That's why you have to dominate your own thoughts. You have to develop that internal voice that says, keep going. We're not done. You have to learn how to negotiate with pain, to find purpose in the suffering, to see every struggle as a chance to build character, to develop grit, to get one step closer to who you were born to be. There's a concept in the SEAL teams called the 40% rule. It says that when you feel like you're completely done, when you think there's nothing left in the tank, you're really only at 40% of your true capacity. That should shock you, because most people never go beyond that first wall. They hit 40% and quit. They think that wall is the end. But for the savage, that wall is just the beginning. That's where the real work starts. That's where transformation begins. It's not when things are easy. It's when you're dead tired and still choose to push that you evolve. That's where breakthroughs happen. That's where you separate yourself. You have to become obsessed with pushing the limit. Not for ego, not for applause, but because you refuse to be average. You have to make it a game. How far can I go? How much can I suffer? How long can I stay locked in when everything in me wants to check out? That's how you train your mind. That's how you take back control. The average person stops when it hurts. The savage starts. The average person lets the mind bully the body. The savage trains the mind to lead, to demand, to command. That's why discipline starts in the mind. That's why mindset is everything. Because once the mind is trained, the body has no choice but to obey. Being good is not enough. Being consistent is not enough. Even being disciplined is not enough if your goal is to truly stand out in a world full of average. Because no matter how well you perform, there are millions of others out there who are doing the same thing. They're waking up early. They're working hard. They're showing discipline. But there's another level, a level where few dare to go. It's the level of being uncommon among the uncommon. It's the level where savages live. Not just those who push harder than the average person, but those who dominate even among the elite. This is the mindset that separates the real beasts from the rest of the pack. This is where greatness is born. In the military, in elite sports, in high-level business, once you get around others who are already operating at a high level, the competition gets tighter. Everyone is driven. Everyone is driven. Everyone is sacrificed. So how do you separate yourself from that crowd? You go further. You push harder. You do the little things that nobody else wants to do. You stay longer. You recover faster. You prepare deeper. You master the fundamentals until they're second nature, and then you build on top of that foundation without ever getting bored. You show up when you're broken. You execute when you're tired. You raise your standard beyond what others even think is possible. Most people get satisfied once they start doing better than the crowd. Once they hit the gym regularly or build a business or graduate from college, they think they've made it. That's average mindset thinking. That's what keeps people stuck because they're comparing themselves to the wrong people. The uncommon don't compare themselves to others. They compare themselves to their own potential. They ask, how much more can I do? How much deeper can I dig? They look at themselves in the mirror and see opportunity, not success. They see more work to do, more pain to endure, more levels to unlock, and they never stop climbing. Being uncommon among the uncommon means you don't celebrate too early. You don't pat yourself on the back for doing what's expected. You set standards that most people would never even think of touching, and you live by those standards day after day, without recognition, without applause. While others slow down when they reach the top, you push harder. While others celebrate, you stay focused. While others take a break, you go back to the grind. Because your vision isn't about proving anything to others. It's about becoming everything you know you're capable of being. This mindset isn't popular. It's not comfortable. It won't get you praise from people who settle for less. In fact, they'll probably call you obsessed. They'll say you're too intense, too hard on yourself, too driven. But that's because your standards make them uncomfortable. Your presence exposes their laziness. Your effort shines a light on their excuses. And instead of rising with you, they'd rather pull you down. That's why being uncommon among the uncommon is a lonely road. You won't always have support. You won't always be understood. But that's the price you pay to become elite. In this country, we idolize greatness, but we rarely talk about what it actually takes. We celebrate the outcome, not the obsession. We cheer for champions, but we ignore the years of isolation, failure, repetition, and sacrifice it took to get there. Everyone wants to be a lion until it's time to do what lions do. Everyone wants to win until they see the cost. And that cost is steep. It costs your comfort. It costs relationships that can't handle your growth. It costs sleep, time, and energy. But if you want to be uncommon among the uncommon, you have to be willing to pay that price every single day. This mindset isn't just about work ethic. It's about identity. It's who you are when no one is watching. It's the decisions you make in private. It's the voice inside your head that says, do more when you've already done enough. It's showing up to train harder even when you already beat everyone else. It's walking into the room and knowing you don't need to say a word. Your results, your discipline, your presence speaks for itself. That's the savage energy. That's the energy of someone who doesn't just want to win. They want to dominate. To be uncommon among the uncommon means you never coast. You never relax just because you're ahead. You remember that the moment you ease up, someone else is outworking you. You stay sharp. You stay aggressive. You keep refining your process, sharpening your tools, breaking yourself down to rebuild stronger. While most people dread the work, you crave it. While they avoid pressure, you seek it. While they train to survive, you train to conquer. That's the level you reach when being good isn't good enough anymore. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't made to be average. Deep down, you know there's another level inside you. Another version of yourself that's faster, stronger, more disciplined, more relentless. That version of you doesn't make excuses. That version doesn't chase comfort. That version refuses to be limited by the people around them or the standards society sets. That version is waiting for you to get serious, to stop lowering your bar to make others comfortable, and to step fully into your savage self. If you've read this far, then something inside you knows you're built for more. You weren't meant to live a life of mediocrity, excuses, and regret. The savage inside you is real, but it needs to be awakened through discipline, pain, and relentless effort. No one is going to hand it to you. You have to earn it. You have to outlast your old self. You have to rise above comfort, above fear, above the noise of average people telling you to slow down. This is your time, not tomorrow, not when it's easier. Be a savage, be uncommon among the uncommon. Stay hard,